introduce myself. My name is Will, and I'm a recovering addict. Okay, I got a thing I want to talk to you about. This is a proven fact. It's a proven fact. The majority of the people that's out here abusing drugs and alcohol. I mean, the people that are on hard drugs and alcohol that's actually out here. It's a proven fact. The majority of y'all are not gonna get clean. The majority of y'all are gonna die in active addiction. The majority of y'all are going to not live through the whole duration. You're gonna end up dying like that. I'm just keeping it real. It's a proven fact. I've seen it time and time. It's only, let's say out of 100, it's only maybe 5% of y'all that's gonna get clean and gonna stay clean. It's only 5% of y'all that's only gonna get sober and stay sober. The majority of y'all is not gonna get it. And I'm gonna tell you the main fact, the main reason why. You ready? It's because you lack the inability to have an open mind, to receive information that can actually help you and follow through with it once you get that information. That's the main reason, that's the main block behind a bunch of y'all that want to get clean, want to stay clean, but can't stay clean. I had to turn around. It's real spooky out here where I'm at. I'm out in the middle of the woods. I ain't mean to cut the conversation, but that's the fact. And that's the truth about it. Once you figure that out, how to have an open mind and learn how to close your mouth, take the cotton out your ears and put it in your mouth and be quiet and listen and actually follow through with some of the suggestions, that's when you gonna get it. That's when you gonna learn about growth. That's when you gonna learn about growth, to learn how to stop. Stop using. Stop drinking. Stop doing drugs. I'm talking to the people that's severely out here, that severely need to stop, and they know they need to stop because it's killing them. Eventually, it's going to kill you. I'm talking this because through my experience, that's what I had to do. I've been clean 16 years. March 7, 2007 is my clean day. And I'll never forget it. That's how deep I am into it. That day right there was the day my whole life turned around. Now, 16 years later, I'm clean. I haven't had a drink or drug since that day. But it's your turn now. I'm just giving you some of the things that could be blocking you. And I know that was blocking me. That was blocking me real bad. And that's the only way you're going to get this. You got to think about it. I mean, if you are one of those type of people that's been going to meetings, you've been doing things that kind of like keep you going, and you kind of like been going around people that actually got substantial clean time or been sober for a long time. Those people will tell you the same thing. That's what kept them in the beginning, because a lot of them didn't get it the first time. A lot of them had to come back a couple of times before they actually figured it out. Wait a minute, I need to shut up and listen and start doing something different so I can actually change my thinking. That's the only way. That's the only way. Well, so what you gonna do? You know? Get up here. Climbing on top of this structure right here. So what you gonna do? You gotta figure this out. Um, I'm shooting these videos, right? If you watching this video for the first time and you getting something out of it, hit the thumbs up button. I'm just trying to help somebody. Cause me, myself, I've been clean for a long time. And the thing about it is that I don't, I want to help somebody. If it's just one person that can kind of like just sit back and just change something about themselves, or just give themselves a break just for one day, I feel like I did a good job. You know what I mean? Because it ain't gonna stop with me. It'll go with somebody else, other people. You gotta keep searching. If you are just now getting this and getting clean, you gotta keep searching. You gotta keep looking and find out that formula that's gonna work for you. I mean, there's other ways of doing this. But one thing you gotta do, you have to give yourself a break and open your mind up. Open your mind. Just have a thought that I can be quiet and I can get some input from someone else. That way I can kind of like figure out how I'm gonna get clean. I mean, or sober. And this is what your thought process need to be. I'm just coming at you from this angle because I think it could be more people and the percentage could be better if the people that's been clean for a long time kind of like share a little bit. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people out here that didn't stop and they learn how to stay stopped off of drugs and alcohol. That's abusing. It's out here. It's a lot of people that didn't learn how to stay stopped. But you gotta kind of like just think about this. You know, if you one of them type of people that keep relapsing, you gotta really look at why are you. This is me, because I used to be like that, and my thing was, I had to figure out why the hell do I keep going back to the madness? Why do I keep going back to using drugs and alcohol? Why do I keep doing that? And I figured it out. It was like multiple things that led me back to where I wanted, where I came from was the streets. But the main thing is I had to change my thinking. And the only way I was able to change my thinking was to be quiet and have an open mind and just kind of like do something different. That's what I had to do. So I'm thinking myself, like the day, I'm gonna tell you the day, because I said this in my other video, the day I got out of prison, my grandfather came and picked me up from the bus station because I had to catch the Greyhound bus back to Cleveland. That's where I'm from. So when I got to the bus station, I called my grandfather, and my grandfather was like, I was like, man, come get me. I'm getting ready. If you don't come get me in such and such amount of time, I'm gonna leave. And my grandfather was insistent. He said, hey, listen to me. Just sit there. Be patient. I'm coming. And I I listened to somebody that one time. I had an open mind. I said, wait a minute. it's something to this. I gotta sit and chill. I don't know what my grandfather, why he want to come and get me so bad. Because I could have got on the bus, actually the local bus, and got on the bus and went home. You know, but my grandfather intervened, and I'm glad he did. Because when I got in the car with him, he put some things on my mind, you know? He put a lot of different things on my mind, and I had to have an open mind and actually to kind of like listen to him. I had to have an open mind. And here I am today, 16 years later, I'm still clean. That's because I had to listen. I had to figure out how to shut my mind up, stop thinking for a minute, and then let somebody else give some input on what they saying. You know, my past, present, and my future. You know, my grandfather, he actually sat up and talked to me about the things I did in the past. That kind of like wasn't good for me. It was bad. And then he kind of like gave me some insight on what was going on right now. Things that I didn't know what was going on in my home where I was going to live. And that was the present. And then if I would have just kept going on about my life, like the way I was living, my future would have been all bad. It wouldn't have been good. But the only way that I was able to receive that information from somebody who had that love for me is that I had to actually close my mouth and just listen to what somebody else had to say. Now I'm here. And that's good. And that's the good thing about this. You know, God is good. I'm saying you got to look at it. But as right now, today, if you got that desire in you and you want to keep that desire going, don't be scared. Just put one foot in front of the other. You know, I'm not. This is not things that I got out of a book. I'm telling you things that I actually done myself. And this was the way I learned to love myself. You gotta think about it, you know? Gotta think about it. I mean, if you out here and you living outside and I mean, you just gotta think about, I mean, where are you gonna be at? You know what I mean? A year from now, if you continue to live like you live. Just think, if you actually stop and you thought about what would you be if you would have kept getting high? If you would have kept abusing alcohol and drugs? Who would you be right now? Think about it. You wouldn't be doing nothing that's beneficial to you. I could tell you that much. It'd be all bad. So you gotta stop and you gotta think for a minute. You gotta think about it. I mean, this is something that you need to do. Especially if somebody is sharing stuff with you that can help you and they know you. They might say some things to you that might hurt. They might say some things to you that might make you mad, along with being sad at the same time. But actually, it's the truth. They love you. You know? Honey, that day when my grandfather picked me up, I did tear up a little bit because my grandfather was speaking real facts to me. And then when I got home, I seen my daughters. My daughters they were grown women. You know what I mean? They were almost grown. They weren't all the way grown, but they were almost grown. They almost there. You know? And they, it's you got to reflect on your past. Reflect on your past. On what the disease of how the disease of addiction had you. Think about it. Don't never forget where you came from. Because the moment you forget, that's the moment, you know what I mean? Anything can happen. The moment you forget, that's the moment you forget your presence. That's the moment you forget that your future is finna be changed for the worse. So don't ever forget about where you came from. You gotta remember that. Don't ever forget that. This is something that you gotta do. If you got a family, you got kids, you gotta always remember who it actually affected. You gotta remember that. You gotta remember who it actually affected and how it affected them. Because you might be feeling good on the inside when you actually in the midst of addiction or drinking, in the middle of drinking or doing your drugs, but you don't really realize how much damage that is really causing your family. You gotta think about it, man. And this is the main reason why I'm shooting these videos like this. Because it's only gonna be a small percent of people that's actually gonna figure out how to stay clean. And it's also gonna be a small percent of people that actually learn how to stay clean that's gonna reach out to other people and do something that can kind of like help them. And that's a small percent. Not too many people willing, like what I'm doing. I'm shooting a YouTube video. This is on YouTube. Not too many people is gonna be willing to talk about their past in front of a bunch of strangers or people they'll never see in their life. But I'm willing to do that if it can help one person. Because one thing I don't want to see nobody else actually die of a drug addiction, alcoholism, and they don't have to. The more people are educated about the disease of addiction, the easier it is for them to fight it and win. That's what took me so long to get clean. That wasn't my first time trying. It's 2000, March 7, 2007. That's just my clean day. But before that, I had tried multiple times to get clean, but then I couldn't figure it out. Somebody had love, respect for me, and they sat down with me and talked to me about it. And that just jerked my thinking into doing something different. And here I am today. I'm clean. I'm still clean. I'm alive. I'm free. I'm not in nobody's institution. Prison, that's an institution. Mental hospital. I'm not walking around here on the street talking to myself. Living in a tent. Living in a mobile, I ain't gonna say mobile home, but just living outside. My life is different. And your life can be different too. Just stay on track. Things are gonna get better. It's gonna be just like, once you really realize what you're doing and you've been clean, it's gonna be just like that lady who hit that $1 billion lottery. You remember her? You see how she was actually going through her emotions? It's gonna be just like that for you. Cause you done figured out how to stay clean. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. Something gonna kick in. But it's up to you to discover it. You got to find it. You got to do it. You have to find the formula that's gonna work for you. You got to. That's your job. It's your time to shine. You can do it. It's easy. Once you figure it out, it's easy. You gotta realize that you're alive, that you're a human being. You're gonna have feelings. You're gonna have emotions. It's a lot of stuff that's connected to us. But in the midst of you using drugs, alcohol, getting high, abusing, you gotta think about it. You were not connected. You were not connected. Let me cut that off. So now that you kind of like got clean, and it's been like a couple of months, maybe. I don't know who you are. Or it might be a week, maybe. Or it might be a day. I don't know who you are. Whoever's watching this video, you'll figure out how much a human being that you are. You're a human being. You changing something. You taking something away. And of course you're gonna feel different. You're gonna feel depressed because you've been putting in a substance in your body for so long. Now you don't know what to do. But that's you being connected to the drug. That's you being connected to the alcohol. And it's physically and mentally trying to attract you back into whatever you were doing. And that's for all drugs. I'm telling you. Me, I was on cocaine. Crack cocaine. That's what I was doing. A lot of people say, well, crack cocaine is not physical. I kind of beg to differ. It's a little physical because you do feel things on the inside of you that don't feel normal. That's because I was not connected to who I really was. Once I got clean and was able to stay clean, I was able to reconnect to this beautiful world that you call a planet. I was able to connect with spirituality, and it was a good thing. I'm not gonna get into religion or nothing like that, because everybody got a way of believing in God. But one thing I am doing with this video is letting you know that you don't have to use drugs no more. You don't have to do alcohol anymore. You don't have to put that in your body anymore. God is good. I'm gonna tell you one more time, it's gonna feel like you hit the Powerball, just like that woman. You can be like, ooh, I need a bodyguard. Ooh, I need a bodyguard. You remember how she was? She was happy. That's all. She was happy and ecstatic. That's understandable. Man, it's a lot of money, but hey, but recovery is just like that. Especially if you were living on an animalistic level, meaning that you were living in the streets, you didn't wash up for days, or you just kept going back and forth to prison. Prison was like the second home. You stay out for maybe 3-4 months and you go back to prison for some years, and then you get back out for another 3-4 months, you start back getting high, then you go back in. I mean, who wants to live like that? Nobody wants to live like that. Not nobody that's with a clean, sober mind. Like they got, look, I'm gonna end this video because I want to keep talking because I could talk about this all day. They got, you could go in the store right now and buy marijuana. You can go in the store right now and buy alcohol. You can go in the store right now and get pharmaceutical drugs that the actual doctor can give you. But right now, you don't have to do that. It's out there for the taking. But you can get clean and stay clean and never have to use that stuff again. Especially if it's just destroying you as a person and destroying your family. You got people that love you, that's around you. They don't want you doing that because they see what it's doing to you. But you got to make a choice. The things that they have out here that's easily to be obtained, it's not meant for everybody. It's not meant for everybody. Yeah, because it's there, you can go buy it. That don't mean it's meant for you. You don't have to do that no more. You can let those other people that want to indulge in that do that. But you as an individual, once you did all this research on yourself and you kind of like know your past, once you know all that, you can let those people do that and you cannot do it. You don't have to do it because they doing it. Peer pressure. Learn to love yourself. This Will talking to you. Like, subscribe, share. If you don't share the video, if you need to use this video for, excuse me, I didn't mean to do that. Don't use my image or nothing like that, but if you need to use this video to kind of like talk to somebody that's kind of like going through it, go ahead, you can use it. I don't care. The main thing is to get a good message out so a person can actually change the way they live. They can figure it out and figure a formula for themselves so they can stay stopped. Don't never have to do it again. You just hit the Powerball. This Will. Recovering addict named Will. Be blessed. Peace. Like, subscribe, share.